Don't get me wrong, there are tons of ways to make more revenue online for your DTC brand, but you're probably not doing them. And I can't think about why, other than the fact that you are severely, severely undereducated when it comes to how to expand to other channels. In this case, I'm talking about meta ads. And so I will break down to my best ability in about 5 minutes a super, super quick mini course on what the heck is going on with meta ads and like how do you manage it today and what does everything mean with the new updates. I'm not going to go into like this weird hit trend that everybody talks about, which is like, the AI has changed or the segmenting or the audience has changed, as much as I'm going to recap exactly what everything does and how to start and how to make a campaign, because that's the most important thing that you need to know in order to start generating sales. And instead of going right into the campaign manager, because, that is something that we can do, I'm going to break down the most important thing that you should know about how to grow sales and traffic with your ads. And the best thing that I would consider doing is setting up a proper pixel. So in order to do this, we run multiple different meta ads accounts. That's just what we do. But for today, I will break down hopefully a blank account. So I'm pulling up one of our test ad accounts that we were running on recently, and I would just go ahead and show you what everything means. Now, when you're running a campaign, there are a few things that you want to know. Where are the events and my conversions being taken place? Where does everything get tracked? And how am I going after more sales for my brand? And if you're thinking, well, I'm just going to plug in some ads and spend X amount of dollars and I'm going to just connect it to my Shopify page and my Meta and my Shopify pixel, that's only half or maybe, 1/4 of the battle at best. And so what we're looking at here is the events manager. And I always start, always, always, always start at the events manager. And the reason why is you need to set up your conversion pixels correctly, right? When you run ads, the only thing that separates you from the leads, you from the forms submissions, you from the traffic campaigns is the pixel. So if I tell Meta that I want to generate sales, but I'm tracking on leads and page views or traffic, then I'm not going to get my desired result, right? Like initiate checkout or actual conversions. So it's important that you set up and connect data here in the events manager first. When you connect data, you're going to go add your website, and then you're going to go through the entire part of syncing that up so that you can start seeing and tracking these events. Now, if I wanted to add more actions, for example, submission of a lead or track a button so that I can get started tracking purchases for my listing or for my brand, I'd have to go and add the action and then test that action. And so in order to do that, I'll go here, manage the event, and I'll open up a setup tool. Now, on this setup tool, I'm going to type in, for example, my website. And let's just say it's this. And I'll go add events. Oh, okay. Website, add, make sure it has HTTPS because that was the issue just now. And there are already a few events tracking: initiate checkout, add to cart, purchases. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I can track a specific button, and that button's going to be for purchases. Now, here you'll see that I already have this tracking, but if I wanted to add a new button, I'd have to go and add a new button, click whatever button that is, and add the event that is correlated that I want to trigger when clicking that specific button. When I'm done with that, I can press confirm, and then I'll exit this window and say finish setup, and then say okay and skip. That being said, once you have all of the proper add to cart traffic, leads, purchases, checkouts, data done, and you know that your data sources are correct, because if you don't get this right, like I said, no purchases are going to come your way, then you go, and only then do you go to campaigns. But before we get to campaigns, we're going to take a quick stop at audiences, because if you don't have the right audience, you won't have the right target. Now, this is where we get into creating audiences. I'm not going to get into it here, but this is where you're going to make sure to add your email list and add your lookalikes for possible interests that you want to target when you're running campaigns. And so what that's going to look like is when you're running a new campaign, I'm going to go here, create campaign. Let's say I'm running a business that's just needs to get more traffic. I'm going to do a traffic campaign. That means more link clicks, more page views, and more contacts. Essentially means I want more popularity and eyes on my specific landing page or product. If I'm doing leads, then I'm probably promoting a business where I need a contact, said email, lead for services. For example, home care services or marketing services. That's probably not going to be something that you're going to build out as a DTC brand unless you're doing that through a funnel. And so often the best way is for you to create a sales campaign, which is ideal for people with catalogs, D2C brands, and anybody looking to create conversions. That being said, we'll go ahead and we start this up. Auction type is, or buying type is auction, which means you're bidding other people within your similar category. You're going to set your budget. I would set campaign budgets. You can also set ad set budgets, which I would say campaign, because as many ad sets as you add, it's going to only spend the amount that you've put here. That being said, you can also do A/B tests. The only thing that you're going to worry about when you're setting up your sales campaign is that the audience is right and the pixel is correct, and that you have 2 to 3 creatives that are ready to go so that you can test them with your link. And so you add your link here. You make sure that this is all set up. You add your creatives, your images, right? You've got some video. Let's start with static because they traditionally are the most cost effective. And then once you have those creatives set up, you'll set up your primary text, your headline, and your description, and your call to action. Once that's done, and you have 3 or 4 creatives set up, and all of your targets and your events and your pixel are set up, you are ready to start testing ads. And that's it. As simple as that, within an hour, you could get all of this done and start testing. And what you want to do is, and with this client specifically, we did this, is if you noticed, he was pre-order. He was testing an idea. He didn't have any UGC. He did this all himself. And what we wanted to figure out was, how do we get results and how do we prove the scalability or the possibility of driving more traffic and sales to this specific product? And so we set up a $10 a day campaign. We got 36,000 reach. We got 762 website clicks, and we only spent $279. And maybe it's a lot, maybe it's not, but we were able to test how much we saw in sales. And with that being said, we were able to scale this campaign to other places, and he's doing this on his own now. He has the proof of scale model. But if you don't have data, if you don't test this correctly, if you don't do this right, how are you ever going to see success? You're never going to see it. And so this is a lesson for you to take. If you're looking to go out and you want to start on Meta Ads now, right now, all you need to do is go on that Meta Ads Manager, link up your card, make sure that all of these things are from your pixel to your audience to your sales campaign, which I would recommend doing an Advantage Plus campaign, because It allows you to get on more placements and allows AI, who knows much more about your ICP than you do, because other people are running other products similar to yours, will be able to push your product without you having to worry about it too much. Once you have that data, then you get the experts in, then you get everybody incorporated to make sure that you can drive sales up. And what that looks like is much, much more sales volume and traffic. Very similar to, for example, some of our friends that are doing really well that are in the Shopify space and seeing, 10,000 USD in orders and 8,000 sessions a month and, consistent growth, or, the many others out there. That being said, if you want to know more about how to scale, I'm happy to help you scale. And I'm happy to help you just walk through the entire manager here. This has been a very, very basic growth tutorial, mini course on meta ads so that you refreshes your mind and takes away any hesitation to go after meta ads as a channel for you and your DTC brand. I hope that was help for you. And if you want more information, please comment below or just contact me on the YouTube link. All right. Thank you.